By virtue of the exchanges that are fostered by people in this room today, there is a great benefit, not just to our province, not just to our economy, not just to your businesses, but to those countries with whom we trade, to those businesses with whom we trade. There is, by virtue of this exchange, a benefit to all of us. Maybe for our province, the most important manifestation of that benefit is measured in our population. In our province, for reasons that you know as well as I do, population is a seminally important measure of economic progress. And we have, I think, known intuitively for some time that our economy has underperformed in this regard over the decades, since we were Canada's third most populous province in 1929. Well, I'm here to tell you that just this morning, Statistics Canada released Saskatchewan's population. There are now 16,498 more people living in Saskatchewan compared to just 1 year ago. That is the largest year-over-year increase since my dad was 11 years old in 1953. 1,045,622. That's the population of the province of Saskatchewan. We have grown, We have grown over the last year at a rate of 1.6%. And over the last year, that is the fastest rate of population growth of any province in the Dominion of Canada. It is the surest sign yet that this province, principally because of people like those in this room, is on the right track. That this province is moving forward like we have never moved forward before. You're obviously a big part of that story today. By virtue of the exchanges that are fostered through STEP's members and through other guests who are in the room, you're also benefiting the rest of the world. Consider just a couple of examples. Think of the burgeoning middle class in Bangladesh, looking for a secure supply of fresh food and ever desiring to increase and improve their diet. Since 2009, sales to Bangladesh have tripled from our province. We do more trade with that country than any other country in continental Europe. We are better for it. We know they are better for it. Think of India. Saskatchewan now accounts for 46% of Canada's sales to that country. It's a staggering statistic. One of the fastest growing emerging economies in the world is obviously going to trade significantly with a country like Canada with all of our resources. 46% of their imports from Canada come from Saskatchewan. Your efforts also bring, may I say, a civilizing balm of certainty to a chaotic world. Trade brings professors and educational exchanges and new processes and innovation and new relationships. It brings professional development. It builds and fosters new commonalities and marriages and children and grandchildren and immigration from new parts of the world to new parts of the world. And our prosperity, your prosperity, as Mr. Bastiat suggested all those decades ago, benefits all through trade. To do all of this, we need an organization like STEP. A small but mighty partnership, maybe the mightiest you'll find in government. A partnership between industry and the government of Saskatchewan. This year, STEP helped 300 of its members enter new markets. It provided hundreds of customized market intelligence reports. STEP organized over 80 speaking engagements and delivered over 2,800 trade leads to its members. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Lionel and the board, the entire team at STEP, deserve a round of applause. STEP is maybe the most important part of our trade story, but there are other important parts to it. It is the vision of our government that our province needs to also engage at the political level and at the official level. We must engage with the rest of the world, and we have chosen to take that new step as a new government. Well, maybe not so new anymore. This is why we've been very keen on trade missions. It's That's why we've been promoting them within our government and with industry. The most recent that I was a part of was that China-Japan trade mission. It was the first trade mission that was a product of yet another manifestation of this engagement policy of our government, the New West Partnership. The New West Partnership, as you know, is more than a trade agreement between Alberta and British Columbia and Saskatchewan, the three half provinces in the West. It goes beyond that. It speaks to the need for the West to work together to develop and foster better trade relationships with the United States, yes, but also to work together to diversify our trade relationship with the rest of the world. And so the first trade mission as a part of the New West Partnership happened this past May when Alberta and BC and Saskatchewan joined together for meetings in Shanghai, Beijing, and then later Tokyo. That was an eye-opening experience. For me, that was my first trip to China. It was my first trip later to Japan as well. Premier Campbell had obviously been to China on many occasions, first as the mayor of Vancouver and then as premier of British Columbia, and he said after the meeting in a debrief that we had that this was the most successful trade mission he had been part of, and he believed it was because we were there as a group. We were there as Western Canada, representing 100% of Canada's uranium and 90% of Canada's oil and 92% of Canada's natural gas and 95% of Canada's coal and almost 2/3 of the arable acres in our country. And when you are in a part of the world that is interested in the prospects for food security and energy security, what we were presenting together as the West was a powerful thing indeed, and Premier Campbell attributed that to what he considered to be the most successful trade mission he had been a part of. In terms of the meetings that we were able to get, it was pretty humbling for me to be there. I can tell you we struck a great memorandum of understanding, among other things, with the China National Petroleum Corporation. And we were there, the morning that we were there, we pulled up to the front of the building, and I walked out of the car and into the lobby of this beautiful brand new building in Beijing. And there was my name up in lights about, I don't know, maybe 50 feet by 20 feet, and this big digital sign, both in Chinese and in English, "Welcome Premier Brad Wall from Saskatchewan." And I tell you, I kind of felt pretty good about that. I don't mind telling you. I phoned back to Regina. The legislature was still in session, if you remember, in May, and there were some issues. So I phoned back to Regina and was happy to tell the folks back there about this sign and how I had my name up in lights, and that was pretty cool. And a very good friend of mine, who's also one of my senior advisors in executive council, said, "Well, that's kind of a coincidence, because there was quite a gathering here at the legislature outside in the grounds, and they had your name on some signs here as well." It was interesting to be with CNPC that day and to sign our MOU in 24 hours. We wanted to expand it beyond where it was. We wanted to have them look at potential oil sands investment. We wanted to have them look at carbon capture and sequestration and shale gas, and they were very interested. We literally worked together a deal, thanks to William Wang, who's here, in about 24 hours, and Lionel was there, came for the signing. Obviously, Step was involved, and I had a chance to talk to Mr. Chen of CNPC for a little bit after we signed the agreement, and he said, "How many people in Saskatchewan?" And I said, "About 1,045,622. And he said, "Really? Because that's how many employees we have at CNPC." Kind of puts things in perspective. But we obviously are looking forward to more missions like that. The next one, by the way, will be India, where